Start with salutation. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Mother, hold our hand, take us across through this world and show us what is real and what is not real. Take us from darkness of ignorance to the wisdom of light, to the truth of reality. Take us from death to immortality. Oh, peace, peace. Check. Welcome everyone. Journey apparently become complicated for most people. There's so much of conflicts and making resolutions to sort out, people to people, closest people, mother, daughter, mother, son, husband, wife, father, son, father, daughter, and then there are colleagues and friends and devotees and guru disciple. There's all separation, you and I. And this entire conflict is creating a separation from you and me to this world. So reflecting on a little bit of the last Sunday's discussion, we will link it on because it's such a huge topic, you cannot cover it in 1 day's 2-3 hours. It generally should go on for a few, but it will be very interesting, very challenging, very rewarding. I wish somebody had told me about all this when I was your age. I'll be somebody great today. Really. So great, I think we will be all world toppers, no? We didn't know who we are. We were a little bundle of flesh and blood and running around like a monkey, and who can run faster and who can score a little better and who can play this game and beat somebody and who can run their 100 meters first, and I have done it. It's all physical performance and some intellectual mind and brain concept. But we missed in the race who we really are. So there is one telephone recording in a voicemail. So he is recorded in the voicemail. I'm sorry, I cannot attend to your telephone right now. If you tell me who you are and what you want, and it goes on to say, it appears to be a very simple recording, but it is not. Many people spend their whole lifetime trying to find out who they are and what do they really want from this life. Be careful when you record in my answering machine. That's the recording given for anybody rings up. I'm sorry, I cannot attend your phone, but you better tell me who you really are and you better tell me what you exactly want. Thing. There is this lady, very pious lady, devout Christians. And comes from a very poor family, but dignified lady, poor, but has some education. Every day morning after the prayers, she will come out into the veranda and throw her hand out and say, "Thank you, Lord. Thank you for making my day so beautiful, keeping me alive, keeping me free from all troubles and problems." And her neighbor was an atheist. Atheist who doesn't believe in God. And he would equally loudly shout out from there, There is no God. This lady would smile and quietly come up. She'll not get into conflicts. A few days later, she comes out and says, God, God, I am your beloved devotee. But listen, I have no money to buy my food stuff. Please get me some food. I have nothing to eat. She goes back. And lo and behold, next day morning when she comes, she finds two huge basket full of bag full of ration, bread, egg, whatever she wanted, everything is there. And she's in ecstasy, goes and said, Lord, Lord, you brought it to me. Thank you so much. And that neighbor was hiding in the bush. He jumps out and said, ha, 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 that's not your God, I brought it for you. The lady is not to be given up. She throws up her hand even more loudly and said, God, thank you so much for giving me the food and making the devil pay for it. Now, this is the conflict which is going on in the world outside. Believers, non-believers. But, the beauty about the Advaita with yoga, you have Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga. Generally, Raja Yoga, ours basic is Kriya Yoga, which is Raja Yoga, the height of the Raja Yoga, coupled with Bhakti Yoga, and coupled with Karma Yoga, selfless work, and Jaya. Do selfless work, meaning work for the betterment of the people without wanting anything from in return. And with all this, the intention of the Raja Yoga is telling us that look, what is creating the problem? This just now, what we talked about. Why is this separation? Why is one saying, oh Lord, thank you so much, and the other one is saying there is no God? And mind you, this reminds me of Paramahansa Ramakrishna. He is in one of the sessions, somebody said, Thakur, there is a beautiful Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, not Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam Katha is on. Let's go and listen. So Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, let's go. So they went and sat down, and beautiful talk was going on, and he was very happy. And there is somebody who was totally an atheist. And those days, he was from Brahma Samaj. In Bengal, Brahma Samaj is the one who don't believe in any God and structure. They believe in the Supreme, something like Advaitavad. He kept on criticizing. There is no God like this. So Paramahansa Ramakrishna, when he was asked by his devotees, sir, what do you have to say to that person who's saying? He smiles and he says, I salute Mother Kali. That, who is she? She is the one, the mother of the universe, as Paramahansa Ramakrishna believes in, that she allows him to continue to speak without doing anything to him. And this is what that atheist and the theist, just now what we talked about. The lady said, I need food. The atheist, Samaritan, good guy, neighbor, he quietly buys some rations and puts it there. But he was waiting to see, I'll prove it to this lady, there is no God. The lady comes out in ecstasy, thank you God. And he jumps out and says, what God? No God, I brought that food for you. And how she reacts like Paramahansa Ramakrishna reacted. He said, what? Mother Kali, you allow him to talk and do nothing to him? What greatness in you. This is what this pious lady also said. Thank you for giving me all the food, and the best is you make the devil pay for it also. this journey in which Vedanta goes ahead and said the problem is where? Problem is our aligning ourselves with our mind. I am like that. And with our body. This is me. And the moment you and I say, this is me, this is how I am, and my name is so-and-so, you are isolating yourself from everybody else. You are you, I am I. Including in your own family. And that is why there is so much of differences. There is something called Sermon of the Mount by Jesus Christ. Just like, most of these great masters, they would take in seclusion their favorite. Paramahansa Yogananda, he had one of his trip, and I was lucky to go and sit in that room. It is in Ensenada, near the Grand Canyon. And there he had the vision of the Divine Mother coming, and not just coming, Divine Mother spoke through his voice, like a female voice. And before doing that, he called Dayamata. He knew it is going to happen. So he called Dayamata and 2-3 other very close devotees, and they were seated there. Only they witnessed it. And that is the place where he wrote autobiographies and part of it also. Paramahansa Ramakrishna, he would, Ashtavakra Gita, we have been talking about it. He would close the door in Dakshineshwar Mandir. And before closing, he will see, I hope nobody is there to listen out. And then he closed the door, and inside he had 16 favorite disciples. So out of those 16, 10, 12 of them, whoever is there, or all 16, he would give them his, the most innermost guidance. And the best part of it, each one of them attained Brahmagyan in that life itself. There is one small book I'll share with you today. Swami Brahmananda in Ramakrishna Mission. He was the first president of Ramakrishna Mission. And Swami Vivekananda, he told Brahmananda, you go ahead and be the president. And he was chosen to be the director president, meaning he was going around the world and spreading the word and running up this ashram, Belur Math, started up by Brahmananda. Brahmananda was considered to be the Manas Putra of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. He is the spiritual child. And strangely, Brahmananda was another one like Vivekananda, like Paramahansa Ramakrishna. He will be hours in deep samadhi. He never wrote a book, excepting one. I'll show you that book. I have a copy of that book. It's a very small book, and in which he's written down 1, 2, 3. What are those? What Paramahansa Ramakrishna gave, his choicest of this sermon, like Sermon on the Mount, like that. I'll tell you just the first one. It says, in Bengali, nobody Bengali here, nobody will understand. Shadamam will understand it. It says, you understand the place of Bengali? Little? Vijay? No. I forgot. In Bengali it says, Manush Nijeke Jante Parle. If mankind recognizes themselves, then they will see God. And that's exactly our talk today. That you and I need to know who we really are. And if you and I can identify who we are, you have done it. And our journey is this. Mind is the problem. Body is the problem. But the mind and body is not who we are. So, Ashtavakra, he is going ahead and giving a very famous statement in his fourth Ashtavakra Samhita, in Ashtavakra Gita, in the second chapter, fourth sloka, he is talking about it. I'll read it out. It is so powerful. And sad thing is, Vijay sir, all of us, we are not as lucky as Tapliyal sir. I don't know if you all know, he studied in BHU, Banaras Hindu University. And he was visited by a great monk. One day he was lying down on his cot. Correct me, sir, if I'm wrong. He was lying down in his bed, and suddenly this tall sannyasi walks in and gives him a Bhagavad Gita. This for you. He was quite surprised. I don't think he was reading Bhagavad Gita before that. He never read before that. And now he knows the entire Bhagavad Gita by heart. And he says, this for you. Read it. He was quite dazed. He was looking at it, and the sannyasi left. He tried to go out and see him. He didn't find him. Am I correct? He had just vanished. But thereafter, he took all this. So he is very lucky. You're very lucky. We were not. Nobody came and showed us these beautiful things which we could. Here, Ashtavakra, this Ashtavakra Gita, Paramahansa Ramakrishna had given it to Vivekananda and said, don't tell others, it's only for you to read it. He didn't want everybody to read that because he said they will become atheist. You know, atheist is what? Generally, theistic is what? God is out there, God is more powerful, God is up there. And I am here, I am very inferior, I have no power, I have very little power, and that power is only if the God gives me the blessing. This is theistic. Temple, church and mosque where the God is there. And whereas Advaita Vedanta is talking something else. So that is why he didn't want it to be told to everybody. I'll tell you what a powerful sloka this is. He goes on to say, it is chapter 2, verse 2, Ashtavakra Gita. It says, Yatha prakashamekho deham enam tatha jagat yatha mama jagat sarvam athava nacha kinchana. Going on to say, as I myself receive this gift as the body when I am born. And notice, the moment I am born, the moment your grandchild is born, for the grandchild, the world is born, no? Till then, the day I was born, only then the world came to be. He's saying that. Can you imagine? Have you ever thought of it like this? Nobody told us all these days. What does it mean? Just think. The day you are born, your universe is born with you. The day you die, your universe is dead. So he's saying, if you and the universe are born together, not separate identity, but both of you are one. It is one consciousness. So he says, so then, if it is so, if I am knowledgeable, then the universe and I, this world outside and I, are not separate. Meaning what? Meaning, if this is my computer, and I say my computer, meaning what? I can do anything with it. This is my mobile. In other words, you could do with this universe anything. Whatever you want. whatever you desire. And those who are cynic, they will say, yeah, they do it and show. If you reflect, 2 Sundays back when we were talking, Vijay sir, remember we said that watch India winning against Indonesia? Yeah. And match was going on at that time. Nobody could believe it. And third brother and elder brother, they Thomas Cup player. They never reached more than the challenge round ever. I don't know. I got a message. So I was telling them, just watch, India going to win today. My third brother and elder brother, when they were hearing, they were laughing. They said, you don't understand this. You know, you're not in this world. You don't know how good they are. Even went on to say something like, I said, listen, you pray to Divine Mother. Who's Divine Mother? Divine Mother is the universe. If the Mother universe is what is around us, everything, including us. It's like lots of waves, bubbles, froth, huge ocean. As bubble and froth and the ocean, we are separate from each other. I'm a little bubble. You're a big wave. You're a bigger wave. You're an even bigger wave. And you say, look at those losers. They haven't done studies in their school. That's why they're bubble. They learned how to earn money. They haven't worked hard during their school days. I am tsunami. As bubbles, froths, and water sprinkle, you and I are separate. And we are separate from the ocean also. But just think, when you look at yourself as water, the bubble, the froth, the sprinkle, the ocean, everything is water. If I take away water from this bubble or this wave, there is no wave. It's gone. If I take away the water from the ocean, it's gone. And this is what it means that the universe and you are born as one consciousness. And this consciousness he is talking about, Ashavakra, is so powerful. I thought we all should remember it and talk about it again and again to our own mind. Enough for us to believe that you can control this universe, and that universe is none other than you. It's very difficult for you and me to understand. We say, what? And then straight away we say, why? Have you realized these 5 senses are, really gobbling down the whole world and bombarding our 5 senses, through the 5 senses, our brain and the mind. I see a rose, I see a man, I see a woman, I see the mountain, I see the dolphin or the dog, and it's bombarded through my eye, ears. I'm experiencing the world, how these senses are all going out and bringing the world to us to experience it. And because of this interaction, we feel the world is separate. I am here. I'm limited. World is so big. But the moment you look at, like the waves in the ocean, the consciousness. See, if you're not conscious right now, if you and I are unconscious, it straight away reminds me of Rajeshar's book on quantum mechanics and the consciousness. Very well written. Did you get the other book? No?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. I started reading.
It's fantastic. One of the world's top writers is writing something like what Rajesh has written. So that's why I immediately thought of sharing with him. He's a Japanese. Michiko Kaku. What are they saying? Everybody is coming eventually to that point. But in that journey, we are suffering. We fall sick. We have no good relationship. We have money problem. We We think, I'm like that. I've got this pain and that ache, but you don't understand. You don't know me. The point is, when you look at it at the point of that water, then you and the world is not separate. I am the universe, and the universe and I are one. And this universe is who? We say Jagat Janani, no? God. So what is the difference between that? Now, till now we understand it is the mind which is the problem. Mind tells you you are different, I'm different. So what is the difference between Advaita and yoga? And what are we doing? What are we practicing? Initially, we used to talk and talk. And I used to keep questioning myself. Is it the thing? Is it the thing? Because we have grown up with what? Initially theistic religion, Mother Kali, Shiva, Krishna, Vishnu, or go to Kaaba stone and pray, or to the baby Jesus in Nashik is supposed to be very powerful. Meaning, that's the place. So if you want to be enlightened, go to Kedarnath. Separations. In which, what is the topic? What is the thing? The thing is going on that, all right, so mind is the problem. So yogi is saying, follow yogic process. Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga. Reminds me, one Westerner goes to Rishikesh and asks one of the yogi guru, teach me meditation. He said, sure, please sit down. And he starts to telling him about yama, niyama, those sensual disciplines and all. You have to follow it. You cannot tell lie. You have to be first is ahimsa. You cannot hate anyone. You cannot criticize anyone. So these Westerners said, yes, I've read all of them. I don't want to know them. You just teach me how to meditate. So the Guru says, in Hindi, he said it because he's a Hindi speaker and there was a translator. He says, "Aap Ashtanga yoga sikhenge ya Vikalanga yoga sikhenge?" Meaning 8 limbs yoga or chop off some of the limbs. What kind of yoga is that? So it is just like that. So here, now understand it. Mind is the problem. Yogi is saying, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, go into Samadhi. As you go into Samadhi, you go beyond mind. You have a little experience of that. All of us have it when we are in deep sleep. In the deep sleep, today we do that practice of that meditation. In that deep sleep, you have, as per Mandakya Upanishad, Rajesh said, very fond of reading Mandakya. Still keep reading? Very nice. Mandakya Upanishad in Bengali, they say Dhani Lanka. It's like Dhani Lanka. It's a tiny chili, very powerful, very spicy. And Mandakya Upanishad, among 110 Upanishads, 108 exactly, is considered to be the most powerful. Only 12 stotras, you can put it into an A4 sheet. And Shankaracharya on that has written Karika of 200 pages. Only those 12 sutras. It's that powerful. And he's saying that Mandakya says we have 3 states. All of us. Everybody as a human being, we have 3 states. One is a awakened state, like right now. Unless my Vedanta puts you to sleep. So 3 states. One is Jagrat, awakened state. Second is sleep and dream state, called Swapna. We sleep and we dream. And third is deep sleep state. Deep sleep state, there is no thoughts. Your mind is also, you've gone beyond the mind. So now what? How do you know you've had a deep sleep? Your question will come. If you're not, mind is the one with which we analyze intellect, buddhi, ego, memory. This is what we use in our mind. If you've gone beyond mind, how do you know you had a deep sleep? So this is where Mandukya Upanishad is saying that you have something, you are aware of the absence of experience. You're experiencing, apparently we will say, nothing. He said, no. You're not experiencing nothing. You're experiencing the nothingness of the experience. That is, let's say, lots of colors and there's black color. Black color is what? Absence of all color. Do you recollect? White is combination of all color. And black is absence of all color. So, that absence of all experience is the deep sleep. That's what happens in Samadhi. You go beyond mind. He says, so go to Samadhi. So, Advaitavadi said, all right. Yes, agree. When you go to deep Samadhi, you are beyond all your troubles and suffering. He said, but what happens when you wake up? Your nagging husband, wife is back again, no? What about your neighbor? What about your loan that you have to pay to the bank, mortgage? They're again back. Then what? So this is where I find a powerful link, that if you realize that you and the universe are not, just become aware, just know. And the know is what? See it, visualize it. Visualize it. What? The end. You know, in the Western world, they say, see the end before you begin the journey. There is one Australian 24-year-old heavyweight boxer. He defeated 33-year-old American Afro-Asian boxer who was 3 years world champion. And he knocked him out in the first round. So everybody came to that 24-year-old young guy and said, how does it feel? He said, well, I have felt it 1,000,000 times. He said, how? Well, I knocked him out 1,000,000 times in my vision. He has seen it happening. And that's how he goes ahead and does it. So if you and I can visualize it, see it, something happens to you and I, whether it is material connection, like let's say Swaminarayan Mandir. If you have seen, it's a magnificent building. In India, in US, in New York, Manhattan, fantastic building. And you'll be surprised, this Swamiji who started, he didn't have anything. But he started his journey. You go to Bangkok, there is, I have the pictures here, there's a special book, big book. The monks we went and met, Buddhist monk, the lady, when she started, she didn't have anything. She had 500 baht. She said she had, begged and accumulated 500 baht. One baht was those days about 18 rupees or 19 rupees, Indian rupees. With 500 baht, that means what? About 6,000 rupees or so, 5,500 rupees, something like that. With that, she started. And when she left her body, she had more than 10 square kilometer entire campus owned building, huge, unbelievable. If you see the picture, you'll be shocked. Just because of that, we went to see it. We went around in a motorized car almost for 3-4 hours. We are going round and seeing. I got totally tired and I don't think I've seen more than half. Their center temple, and the Buddha there, that was given by the monk from there, the head monk. They have the entire golden Buddha, and around all the gold Buddha, small miniature Buddhas. This is not made of gold. It is made of something which looks like gold, which they only presented. They also gave us the monk's dress, said you are ready to wear it. We were talking, arguing about, and they could speak pretty good English. Generally, Thailand is not very good. These days, I think they must be becoming very good at it. So what happens when you come out of the Samadhi? Your suffering is back again. Then what's the answer? So this is where Advaita is coming in. And Advaita Vedanta is saying, this consciousness, it's the light of the light. Mandukya says Jagrat, Swapna, and Shushupti. Shushupti is deep sleep, Sanskrit. Awaken, dream sleep state, and deep sleep state. Now these are the three states. But Mandukya goes there and says, wait, there is one more. So have you ever realized, have you ever thought of it, that all the Indian religion, Indian, I'm not talking about Hindu, and all the religions in the world, I'm first locating to Indian, are all linked with Omkar. That Om is there with every religion. In Islam also, you say Ameen. Now, if you say it loudly, say the moment I say Ameen, try and saying it. The moment you say Meen, your navel goes inside. Christianity says Amen. Say it in your own. Amen. The navel goes inside. You say, oh, navel goes inside. Actually, the same Omkar, thousands of years old. Christianity is 2,200. Islam is about 1,800 years old. You understand? That Omkar has linked the religions of the world. I never thought of it this way. And Mandukya is talking about Omkar. The whole Upanishad is an Om. And what is it? We will do that Omkar meditation today. It's talking about Om is A, U, and First, in English, they write it as A-U-M. But it's not Aum. It's A and U, which is A and O. When you join together, Sandikshan in Sanskrit makes it O. A and U. So A, U, A is Jagrat, awakened state, like we are now. U is the sleep's dream state. And is the deep sleep state. But Mandukya goes ahead and says that's not all. These are the three. But there is a fourth. And that fourth, after you say Om, and then you become silent and you take a deep breath to do the next Omkar. He said this silence and the gap is the Chaturtham. In Mandukya language called Turiya. Turiya actually means Chaturtham. And the Mandukya goes and said, you and I are actually that fourth one. We are not Jagrat, we are not dream sleep, we are not deep sleep. He said, what do you mean by that? We are passing through. He said, no, you are not passing through it. Your body is passing through it. Your mind is passing through it. You are not. You are separate. How is that? We'll just get on to this. This mind, which you go beyond into the deep sleep, cannot work if the consciousness is not there. Supposing you and I are unconscious right now. Can you think? Can you learn? Can you listen to me? Can you recognize? Can you walk out? Can you eat? Can you sleep? You can't do anything. So that consciousness is the Chaturtham, which is the silence. That's why you take a deep breath and you're silent, and then you're continuing with the next and that becomes and U actually joined up together becomes O. So that's how we do O and the and then silent. That silence is the one which Advaita is saying you and I actually are. And that is the seed. Remember the famous statement in our school we got, if you cut an apple, you can count how many seeds are there. But can you tell me how many apples will be in one seed? These are very famous. And I was speaking to Swamiji yesterday, Smaranandaji. I talked to him. He is again Ranchi to he shifted to Noida. Smaranandaji, I was telling him, sir, do you recollect? He said, yes, I recollect one thing very strong. I said, what is it? He said, apple on the seed. And he said, do you know, Dr. Ghosh, I keep using it in my talk. I said, that's your greatness. It's very nice. Really? He said, yes, it's a very powerful thing. I said, so we haven't found it. I got it in our meditation. Somebody came and said, come on, use it. It's a very good thing. Look at it carefully. Now apply it into our real life. Apple is what? The material world. You know, or we can dream sleep, deep sleep. Like that. Apple, the tree, the leaves, the plant, the roots, all that is in the apple. And the apple's coming on. Correct? Now think. Now, that seed tiny inside, what do? If you look carefully, we do what? We just take it out and negligently throw it outside. No? We never realize, we are never conscious of that actually the seed which is created. So what's the statement? One seed will produce how many apples? One apple you can cut and tell me 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seeds. How many apples are in one seed? Now apply it in what we are talking about, Mandakya Upanishad. Awakened state, dream sleep state, deep sleep state. Yeah, this is what is Robin Ghosh, or you and I, anybody. But what is there in that when you finish Om, A, U, M. A and U, Sanskrit is O and M. After that, notice we become silent and take a deep breath. This is the fourth, this is who you and I are. And if you and I can get connected to that, what happens? Let's say, look at this light. Have you all ever reflected and just think, I was just thinking, you're so lucky. I wish I had these knowledges and you at your age. No, ma'am? We never had any one of this. All we had to do, eat, sleep, study, and play hard, study hard, and good. And then get a good job. And after you get a good job, so one young boy and one young girl, they're earning a lot of money and they're now bored. Now I think we should get married. This is how the life is going on. But that understanding of that silence, and then we take a deep breath to do the next Okar. That silence is everything. Nobody told us. We didn't know this. We used to pretend playing, sit down and do meditation. Why? Because we read in the story, Vivekananda used to do that. So we used to also play playfully amongst our, let's play, meditate. Why? Because Vivekananda used to play, meditate. So we used to do that. Didn't mean anything. We must be opening our eyes leather and seeing what is happening around, who's doing meditation. We didn't understand the reality of it. So what is the message here? That if you can visualize and get connected to that consciousness, all you have to do, like what is it? Let's say, imagine, this is mine. I can type, I can open the window or the apples and ask whatever it is. It'll order, listen to my order. No? It got all the passwords and everything is with me. I can tell it. You can tell this universe same way. And understanding that is the spiritual journey. So what is the spiritual journey? We are today physically connected with this body, the mind, with our anger, with our love, with our hatred, with our criticism, with our goodness, with our compassion, with our work for people, with our hatred for people. We are connected with all that. That's our mind. But beyond the mind, there is something like this light. Consciousness is called the light of the light. Why? See, I see this clock. How? Clock doesn't enter my eye. The light falls on it. The light creates an image in my optical lens. That image is sent as tiny, tiny particles of electricity into the brain neuron. Brain neurons make connection. The moment neurons make connection, it's called synapses. Neurons die within 2, 3, 5, 6 days time. This is why babies are told continuously you should keep on reading to them, talk to them. Otherwise, their neurons which are generating, you'll be amazed. Your grandson is generating. You and I also did it. But nobody knew about it. How much? 36 crore per day. 250,000 per minute. 2.5 lakhs. Can you imagine? That means I'm supposed to be responsible to give 250,000 bits of data every minute. And if I don't, those brain cells will die. Now, it goes to the brain cell. Synapses is permanent. The meaning, I have to give activity, I have to give data, I have to smile, I have to talk, I have to play, I have to touch. All this sense, the motor coordination and give data. And today's digitized world is what? Data. The moment you do that, synapses are created. Synapses is lifelong, never dies. So your brain tank is being generated. This tank remains the same. But the inside, the billions of neurons are either getting charged or getting wasted, called pruning away, throws off. This, the moment we come to be aware of what is happening now, that you become aware of the power of this consciousness, like this light. See, light is lighting up all of us. Vijay sir will go out for something. If he goes out, does the light follow him? Is the light stuck to his body? No. Have you ever thought of it? The light falls on something dirty on the road. Does the light get dirty? No. Light falls on, I often say, pitcher of wine or a beer. Light doesn't get drunk. Light falls on holy river water, Ganga. Light doesn't become purified. Light is detached. So is yours and my consciousness. If you'll go through the slide subsequently, you will see all this. This light of the consciousness is the light of light. I'm seeing the light because of my eye. In Chandakya Upanishad, the student comes and asks Guru, tell me what is that one thing. Just imagine, Upanishads are why they're famous. It's famous because of the questions and because of the answers. Generally, others are what? The content, what is written. If you notice, Bhagavad Gita is also questions and answers. So, Vedanta is actually 3. Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, and Brahma Sutra. These are 3 things called Vedanta. Questions and answers is that Upanishad, in which he is asking, what is that one thing? If I learn everything. Shaunaka comes back 20 years of study in a Vedanta ashram, very powerfully, proud. They joined very young. So 22, 23 years, 24 years of age. Father sees. Son is very proud. He asks him, has your guru taught you, what is it that one thing if you learn, you will learn everything? Same question is asked. This is Mandakya. This is Mundaka. Same question. Angiraj is there, is the guru. says, one thing, how can it be? If I learn maths, I will learn maths. How will I learn chemistry with maths? If I learn art, how will I learn, let's say, bow and arrow? And then he goes ahead and says, this, if you understand and learn about the power of your consciousness, you will learn everything. And he tells him 9 times in Chandogya Upanishad, gives example. Shaunaka, this is the you are. Tat Tvamasi. This is the word Mahavakya comes in there. Tat Tvamasi. Now, think. Soon we will all leave this room and go away. Notice the light will remain here unless we switch it off. Light remains here. Again we come back. The light is there. Same way, when you and I die, the body is put into the ground or burnt. Either we are buried or we are burnt. And then there's something called our Sthula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha. These are some names, 5 of them like that. I'm not getting into the technical details. They form a bubble and go away. They carry what? Every bit of work that you've done is carried with that. Shubh Shubh Bolo, Shubh Shubh Karo. Why? Why is Holy Mother is saying, if you want peace in life, don't see fault of others. If you want peace, who doesn't want peace and happiness? If you want something, anything, whatever you want, you have to give it first. You want love? You notice you have to give love. We say generally what? If I see that guy is loving me, then I will love. I would first see whether they are okay or not. Now, if you want knowledge, Sanskrit says Jnanam Dhanena Vardhate. Dhanena Vardhate. You have to give, then you will get the knowledge. You see how? We should do this. Supposing we want somebody to learn maths, we should tell him, okay, you start teaching maths to so-and-so. But I don't know maths. I said, you start teaching. The moment you start teaching maths, you don't know anything. You have to start studying, no? My journey to Vedanta started like that. We started off saying Vedanta with IB. But I didn't know much about Vedanta. So I started thinking, what am I? So I prayed, Mother, Babaji, come on, teach me Vedanta. And we used to have a lot of dialogues on this. But it got us interested and got it more and more and more. Today, I suddenly realized, wow, not bad, quite a bit. It is, of course, an ocean, infinite ocean. Vedanta is so huge, thousands of years. And notice, none of these, nobody has said, I have written this Upanishad. It's the only where nobody has given. Whereas, if you see Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Quran, Bible, somebody has written it down. Not the Upanishad. Nobody has written. It is what? It is acquired knowledge. And they say, how can we write our name? I didn't. I got the message. I put the message down. The other day, I give them a book. Somebody said, please write down your name. I said, why? No, then we will remember. I said, I can assure you, when you touch this book, you'll always remember me. I can't write it. Why? He said, why? I said, just think. God has created this universe as per theistic religion. No? Had God written down somewhere in the corner, created by God? So how can you and I write just because we have apparently done something? We are not the doer. Doer is the supreme. But when you look at it in the angle of the consciousness, you are one. Just like this line. In the world, there are 4 types of understandings of consciousness. we'll get on to it. Another 15 minutes or so, we'll proceed with it and then go on to that meditation techniques of with the Omkar. There is another technique, which is Mandakya Upanishad, Vedanta meditation technique. And all these techniques, what it does, it helps you to get focus to who we really are. You begin to realize, just think, when that day, Satyal sir and Vijay sir and I, we were talking about Indonesia is going to lose and India will win. Just think, many people were praying that India win. Millions. But I'm certain everybody had doubts, no? Where's the chance? Let's face the fact. They're all very good. And both my brothers, ardent badminton lovers, Arjuna Award winner from badminton only. They wanted India to win. But they're strong, this mind is saying. But let's face the reality. This is what you and I say. Sir, yes, I know, I understand, I have to, but let's face the reality. Reality is what? Absence. Absence of what? Absence of that thing which you're wanting. That's why you're wanting it, no? Whereas, what is Vedanta saying? See it. Like I give an example. We're driving down to Mumbai. We are on the expressway. Do you keep saying, I'm going to Mumbai, I'm going to Mumbai, I'm going to Mumbai? Do you say that? But you keep saying, God, God, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. God, please, I want that car, I want that car, I want that iPhone 13. And you keep on, I wish I can get, I wish I can. All I'm saying, learn the very simple technique. See it. It's coming to me. How? I don't know. You all were there when we started up that school building. Yes, sir? There was no clue how the school will start. Vijay sir was there? No, he came after that. He came here, is it? Okay. School. School only. This school, no? Yeah. Around 2007? Yes, sir. 2007. That is the time. All the parents, Asha ma'am and all, Usha ma'am, they were there. They were saying, sir, I had to say no to, I still remember, 105 parents. I didn't have seat, including who became the municipal corporation mayor. What Dada is he called? What Dada? Huh? Huh? Not Ajit Dada. Ajit Dada is Deputy Chief Minister. He came and did our inauguration. No, I'll tell you his name. Jagat Dada? Not Paigudu Dada. It is. It will come to me. He came. Sir, I need a. And somebody said, sir, he's going to be he's the deputy mayor. He's going to be the mayor. How can I say no to mayor? But I said, listen, I don't have a seat. And I'm a stupid idiot. I said, we had said 14 seats in a chair. It will not be more than 14. But I was Jagdish Dada. I think Jagdish. It'll come to me just now. You know what tenacity he showed me? This is what I'm talking about. He didn't know all this consciousness, mind, brain. He doesn't know. But he showed it unknowingly. You know what he did? He said, okay, sir. And he went outside. I thought he's gone. Lunchtime, when I went out from my office, I saw he's still sitting outside in that hall. Jagdish Dada, I think. Jagdish. I said, "Aap kya kar rahe idhar?" Sir, ek seat chahiye. I said, listen, I don't have seat. I would love to give it to you. Yes, sir. He didn't say anything. I went out. When I came back, he was still sitting there. You know, just imagine Vijay, not one day, Tapial sir, 7 days. He came in the morning, he sat there till eventually I gave in. I said, if a father is so keen, It's crime of me. I told the teacher, listen, you put one chair in there. Sir, we are already 14. I said, it's okay, put 15. Manage it. The classrooms were not so big. So he said, okay, put 15. He finished 12th standard. He did very well, that boy. Jagdish Dada. He's still there. He's there on my telephone also. Very nice, very thorough gentleman, very polite. He could have pulled a lot of string. He actually did. Starting from Congress to National Congress to Manse, everybody kept calling up. उनको एक seat दीजिए. I said, भाई अगर होगा तो देंगे ना. अभी तो है ही नहीं हमारे पास. But eventually we did give. But look at him. What did he do? He saw, I'm going to Mumbai. I am reaching Mumbai. You know you will reach Mumbai. Even if you read that signboard which says, tire burst cause injury to health. The moment you see it, have you realized? It comes to you. I hope I don't get a tire burst. What Vedanta is saying? Why are you thinking of it? You know why? Because we have grown up with criticism all along our life. And we have been told, you should become like that. Maybe our grandfather, or maybe great-grandfather, or our father. Or we have been told, you should be like who? Maybe Swami Vivekananda, or maybe, Rajendra Prasad, somebody like that. Bill Gates. So what do we have to do now? Think. We have to copy. We have to copy to become like them. What Vedanta is saying, you recognize yourself, and you are that consciousness, the infinite journey to recognize yourself. The moment you even come close to it, India will win, Indonesia will lose. Just at the beginning part of the journey itself, you will start to see it happening. And then you will say, wow, it actually happened. My God. Next time you do it again. And then you don't have doubts. You say it's going to happen. It will happen. It's like a mother. Today morning, Ira, my elder daughter, with the baby, and Sharuda and I, we were all having breakfast. So after 2-3 bites, Ira said he'll not have any more. So Sharuda was trying to playfully just play with him, like you do, chuvada, something like that she was doing. And came to give him, he did. Notice, he knows. He's a baby, but he knows, I don't need any more. Can you and I do that? I don't need any more. I have everything. Our desires for more and more is taking us out. Notice, if the champion is going to US tomorrow with Ira and Rajat, he's not going to carry $10 in his pocket for his milk. He knows, I will get it. How come you and I don't know? And that's what I'm saying. Know it. I'm going to Mumbai. I will reach Mumbai. When you started writing the book, how much of doubts you had, but you persevered. No? In that writing of the book, tell us, how did it go?
It was not, I have not decided that I have to write it. It was not my intention. It went spontaneous.
And it just happened.
Just happened. Just was happening.
A beautiful statement. Yukteswar Guru, Paramahansa Yogananda Guru, he got a message from Babaji in Kumbh Mela in Allahabad. Right about, the book is called Holy Science. Have you read it?
No.
No? I'll give it to you today. Try and...
I read it, sir. I read it.
You read it? Yeah. That Holy Science is a thin book. Very powerful. Which yuga is going on right now? Which? You all know as which yuga? Kali Yuga. Everybody thinks it's Kali Yuga. He's right. You'll be surprised, 1595, as per Holy Science. Kali Yuga is finished. and Dwapar Yuga is coming. You know what is Dwapar Yuga? Dwapar Yuga is IT, information. So nowadays, 16th century onward, if you look carefully now, all the discoveries of the universe has started from 16th century. 1617, 1619, 1635. What are those? Isaac Newton, Einstein, Galileo, Copernicus, Ferdinand Magellan, Earth is round. All discovered after 16th century. Dwapar Yuga, information age. Link it. So he's saying, Yukteswar Giri is saying, Babaji told me to write it. He said, but I've never written a book. He said, don't worry, start. Yukteswar Giri is saying, I don't know what used to happen. After I meditated, like you were saying, I had to write. You determined to write it. And he says, something happened. My hand used to fly as if somebody is writing through my hand. And it got written. Thin book, but powerful. It's like Mandaka Upanishad. Just imagine one A4 sheet has got all the 12 stotra on which for thousands of years, for thousands of pages, explanations are being written. Shankaracharya himself is more than 200 pages, 212, I think, sutra he has written on Mandaka Karika. This is how powerful, and why I keep talking about, I feel sad. Whether it is, Lord Byron, famous poet, or Leo Tolstoy, or Schopenhauer, German, great scientist, David Chalmers, Tonini in America right now, current, they're writing about mind-brain consciousness unit. From where? Vedanta. And you and I know nothing about it. At least we are divinely blessed that we have taken up the journey now and we know something. That's why I feel jealous of you guys. I tell our kids all the time, I'm jealous of you guys. They say, why sir? I said, I wish I had your education. We'll be somebody great today. So with this, understand, we are saying, whatever you are aware of, what you know, it's a thing. Understand. Don't find it boring, but it's very interesting to understand. We say I and you. Who is I? I, me, myself, which is this body, mind, and name and form, and my function. And you is who? Somebody else with a similar quality with somebody else. This is the different, the separation is coming with that information, with that data. This body of the others and of mine, I'm aware of my hand. I can see it. Does the hand say, I am aware of you? No. Let's take a simple calculation. 20 into 20. 400. Does the 20 into 20 know of me? No, I know of 20 into 20. Who's this I? I know of my I. I can see this clock. I'm aware of the clock. Aware. Consciousness. Is the clock aware of me? So clock is an object, and I see that object because of my consciousness. Everything that I experience is an object. We say, all right. So what are you trying to say? Everything is an object except for one thing. And you will say what? Mind. No, mind is also an object as per Vedanta, not as per Western science. Vedanta is saying, do you experience your thoughts? Do you remember something? You're trying to understand maths. Do you forget? And you know that you've forgotten. Do you experience that you're feeling sleepy? And your eyes are closing? So your eyes are not you. Who's experiencing it? Mind. Can the mind experience it without your consciousness? No. So mind is also an object. Your anger, jealousy, greed, everything is an object. So what is it? Object and subject. Subject is I. Subject is me. Everything else in the universe is object. Including my body, including my mind. So I am who? This is called Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. Now, if you know that, and if you start to practice these little bit of practices, what will happen is you will suddenly realize the power of that, which was where? All along with you. Where were the seeds to produce millions of apples? Inside the apple only. But we didn't realize it. So inside you only. What is this world topper? How is it? Think for a second. How is Victoria's Kids producing for the first time? The last 3 years. World topper 10, world topper 12. How? All I do is this only. I tell them, you're not a monkey. You don't know who you are. Recognize it. Start working at it. Say, I have to. Just like he said, I have to. And he completed it in a beautiful writing. Same way, something will happen. A tremendous force will come. Where is it? Everywhere. And only thing you and I don't realize that you are also part of that force. I am also water. Then only I am a wave. Maybe a small one. Maybe I am only a sprinkle of water. But I am still water. I and the ocean are not separate. We are one. I and the universe, we are not separate. We are one. And that oneness, the moment you start to realize, you know what happens? What is the other thing? Oneness is one. What is the other? Is separatedness. You're separate. Not bad. I'm doing pretty good with the timing today. We have to again take the meditation class. Not the actual meditation. That we'll do later. We need a little bit of understanding of the meditation. Okay. Now, so Drishya and Drashta, subject and object. Another analogy to understand, I'm not my body. Yes, this body, you say, no, okay, I'm not my body, but this is my body. Yes, okay, I'm not my mind, but this is my mind. You know, such knowledge, Vijay, the more I read, and I say, why didn't anybody teach us in our school days? Ashtavakra is saying, oh really, this is your body. Do you own it? You say, yes. I said, how do you own it? Did somebody give it to you this with a sale letter? Say, no, my mother and father gave it. How do you know that? You say, why? That nurse told me, and I saw the certificate, doctor has signed it. I was born to this mother and the father. The guru says, you monkey, you believe in a nurse, and I am telling you, you are not that, you are something much more. And you are going into that thinking that I am this body. Then Ashtavakra is saying, okay, your body is made of 5 elements. Those 108 elements and Panchabhuta, we call it, right? 108 plus now 120 odd elements, no? How many elements are there, sir? 122 or something. 122 elements now. I remember when I studied, it was 108 and some undiscovered one. Yes, she's saying my subject, is it? It's about 122 element. I think a few days back I read it. So, Ashtavakra is saying, do you own those 122 elements which has created your body? You know, one scientist went and told Guru, come, we don't need God anymore. He said, really? Why? I have created life in my laboratory. He said, really? Show me. The Guru goes with him. The scientist is saying, see, first I take this soil, earth, and in which, and he goes on to explain, I do this chemical, and I do this, going ahead and explaining. So, Guru says, Do you own that soil? Does that earth belong to you? He said, no, I just took some. I said, who created it? Who created that earth? Are you with me? We say, no, God created this universe. So Guru is saying, hey, God has created that earth and that fire and the ether and the air. And the beautiful statement goes on. Yesterday only I was listening to Paramahamsa Yogananda Sarif, Chidanandaji, who is the present president. He's saying, just like you feel. I like the statement you've written on that. And the Babaji is loving devotee. You read, Rajesh? Very nice. He's saying, just like you feel the wind, you see, experience the light. Just like that, you will experience God. And what is Advaita Vedanta saying? Advaita Vedanta saying, realize you are none other. You are not limited to your body and the name. So it means what? I own the universe or I am the universe. What does the Aham Brahmasmi mean? Tat Tvamasi mean? Prajnana Brahman. Prajnana Brahman is consciousness alone is Brahman. That's it. And I am Atman Brahman. There are many Mahavakyas, but generally considered 4 of them are the major Mahavakyas. What did Paramahamsa Ramakrishna say? Another Mahavakya. What? The moment you as a human being recognize that you are, you know who you are, you have met God. Similar statement. So now with this, anything which is drashta and drashya, drashya is all separate from drashya, separate. So drashta cannot be the same as the, that means I am experiencing my body, I cannot be my body. I'm experiencing my mind, I cannot be my mind. Yes, that mind and the body does, I utilize it. As what? Like you use your app in your mobile or your computer. Use your car, no? You use your house. Do you say this house is me? You use your clothes, you take it away and throw it away for wash. Do you say this cloth is me? Just like that, the moment you realize I'm something much more powerful than this body, I need to discover it. That's what we are doing right now. This is why, discovering the gravitational force or light or electricity and aircraft flying, they're all science. Discovering the truth, understand this, especially both of you. Discovering the truth outside of you is called science. And discovering the truth inside of you is called spirituality. And that is what we have forgotten. We are disconnected from that. So the journey is to go into that. There is one sadhu in Uttarakhand, he's saying, Jo anitya hai, Sir's state, his land, Uttarakhand. Jo anitya hai और जो नित्य है, दोनों के अंदर कोई संबंध नहीं है. Meaning, which is impermanent and which is permanent, there is no relationship. He goes on to say, what is moving and what is stationary cannot be one. Just think. Anything which is moving, let's say, I'll give you a huge example so that you cannot forget it. A train is moving and you want to hold on to the train. Either your mighty Superman to stop the train, or you will go along with the train. You cannot stay separate and yet hold on to the train. What is the understanding? Understanding is everything is moving excepting for one thing, and that is your consciousness, which is always there. Like this light will always be there. Our body will die, body will be cremated, burned, buried. Our mind, along with that memory, ego, Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. 4 things will go away and take, as per Vedanta, another form, another birth, and come back with certain other samskar. You should understand something. You suddenly feel like, Usha ma'am feels like having a chocolate. I feel like eating a chocolate. What is this? These are called vritti. Understand it. Imagine a deep lake. A bubble comes from ground, from the bottom of the lake, and comes up, and on top you see the bubble bursting. That is exactly like our mind is the lake. Vivekananda used to explain our mind like this. Mind is like that lake. Bottom of the mind is our samskar, what we have carried from previous birth. That samskar, it wants to now emerge, and when it comes up like a bubble, it's called vritti. Little Sanskrit name. You can call it a thought. A thought comes up. What is it? Usha ma'am wants to have a chocolate. A thought. A desire. Chocolate desire. Now, the moment Usha ma'am goes ahead and gets a chocolate, or tells Kanak, get me a chocolate, it is going to solidify. She'll eat the chocolate. She'll feel very happy for a minute or two, and it will go back again as a samskar and stay down there. It's going to come up again and wag its tail. But if she says, I have a desire for chocolate, but I know it's not good. I don't want it. Just like we are meditating, door is open, somebody comes in, neighbor, just wanted to say hello, sir, hello to Sharada ma'am, comes in, opens and sees all of us meditating. He'll say, sorry, close the door and go away. Same thing will happen to the vritti. Vritti will say, sorry. What have you done? You replace the vritti with a better wish, thought, desire for higher things. So what happens now? It will go back as a good something, and that vritti for chocolate will be erased. You've done this. All of you have done it. There are many things in your life which you used to do it, which is gone. Why? You chose to do it. So whatever is negative, this is why shubh bolo. All the good things that you say and do, they are going back, becoming a sanskar, coming back, coming into the vritti form. You take the action becomes a form and goes back. This circle is going on in our life. Our intention through these spiritual practices, through these meditative practices, to get down to that silent zone, Om, and then silence, which is Chaturtham. Go into that, and now, which will practice, plant your seed, what you want. Let's say, I want to see Babaji. I plant the seed. Just like you plant a seed in your little garden or in a farm, you don't dig it after 2 or 3 days whether it is germinating. Then the seed will not germinate. Isn't it? It will get spoiled. You let it be. You just make sure there is sunshine, there is air, there is water. It will. Who can stop it? Nothing. Nature itself will come. Which is nature? Nature is the universe. Nature is you. Nature is your consciousness. So this computer can do the work for me. Nature can do the work for me. What do? Visualize it. See it and let it be. Plant the seed. When your mind reaches that calm state in the meditative state, now what are you doing? You have the Aladdin's Wonderlamp with you. Aladdin's Wonderlamp is what? You rub it and genie comes in, hukum karo. You tell the universe harmoniously. You are not separate. You are saying, I'm telling the universe is something. It's like telling God, I'm telling Mother Kali, she is different, she is powerful, she is very big. I'm small, I'm cognitive? No, you're not separate. So now think, you take a little small example. Let's say a bucket, a bigger bucket. Let's say a swimming pool bucket for a baby swimming pool. Only this big, right? You touch this end of the water. Does that end of the water know that you've touched this? Would it know or no? Tell me. That bucket, I am touching here. Will it know? No. Think. If I drop a leaf, not a stone, a leaf, it's going to create a little ripple. Will that ripple reach there or not? Of course it will reach. Haven't we seen in the pond, if you throw a stone, it goes, strikes the other side, again comes back, and it goes on, that oscillation till it becomes calm again. Yeah? It will. Another example, easy to understand. It had happened to me once in a jungle. One rat came and bit my toe. I yelled, how did I know? Hey, that toe belongs to me, no? Just like that, the entire consciousness, the universe is you. Anything, the moment you tap on, you will suddenly find, you will come to know, like a telepathy, you will come to know what Thapliyal sir is thinking. And you will see all these great Marathis, they come to know. You know, the other day, Shadava and I, we had a small gathering. Somebody who was a very senior manager in Vijay Sales, he came down. He came and gave Shadava a photograph, a framed photograph as a gift. And it was covered up with gift wrapping. They gave it, ma'am accepted it, and just before they were going, we were standing here. I was there, Shadabam there, they were standing here. They were looking and admiring. I said, I suddenly got the message. I said, you brought Ganpati Baba? She was so shocked. She said, how do you know? I said, I don't know. No, but you said just now. I said, yeah, I just got a message that you brought Ganpati Baba. Is it so? She was looking at her husband. How does he know? I'm saying you will also know everything. Just like if she says, I hate you, you know it, no? Just like that, you will come to know, I hate you, or I like you, or I want this, and I don't want this. You will come to know. These are 5 senses now. This is Sthula Sharira. Sukshma Sharira is, and even more than that, is that consciousness. That is always there. Body will go, mind will go, and will come back again, it will be there. So now we are getting into that part. So, third example, I showed you all how we are not our body and our mind. It's called Chit and Jada. Jada is the Sthula, and Chit is the consciousness. They cannot be one. Drashta and Drishya cannot be one. Object and subject cannot be same. But we are saying, I'm conscious, but I have this body. And if I say, where is Robin Ghosh? I say, here. I'll give you another example, very simple for young boys and girls champion. You will find it very interesting. Let's say we are doing this talk. Let's say we are about 150 of us sitting. We have had 150 here, jam-packed. And Sharada Ma'am used to cook everybody's dinner and lunch. Think. Somebody asks you, where were you Sunday? Say, I went. Where? Robin Ghosh, there was a talk, sir was doing a talk, I was there. So they ask you, was your mother there? You say, yes. Was your father there? Yes. They ask you, how do you know? You say, come on, I saw her with me. Okay, I saw him with me, right? Very simple till now. Now my question is, he asks you, were you there? Were you there? You say, yes. They will say, how do you know? Think, how do you know you're here? Will you say, you check, I have swiped my finger in the fingerprint machine? Will you say, I maintained my registry name and I signed it there? How do you know that you're sitting here right now? Think, Usha ma'am. How do you know? This is your consciousness, which tells you I. Who is this I? That baby became toddler to become a little older and 8, 9, 10 and then became 12, 15, 18 and then became 25, 30. But notice the I is continuously going. Body is changing, mind is changing, intellect is changing. You're learning skills and learning knowledge and learning and become masters and postgraduate and thereafter you become PhD and you get great. I am remaining constant. Body is aging. Bodies become sick, bodies become okay. Body is never sick, always happy. I am remaining constant. This understanding it, there is a very famous analogy. We're supposed to have 60,000 thoughts per day. It's the general average done by the Western world. You know something? I was amazed to read this and hear it. Krishna is called the consciousness, the Chit, and as per Bhagavad Gita. He's the consciousness, he's the God, no? And he had 16,000 gopis. And those gopis were all those vrittis, 16,000 ideas. They would all go blind in love with Krishna. But nobody would say, I am Krishna. I don't know if you know this. Krishna wanted to play a miracle. So he suddenly landed up with high fever. Baby Krishna must be not baby, must be 10, 12, 14, 15. I think it's between 12 and 15 by the example I'm talking about. He had very high fever. Yashoda Mata got very worried. She tried everything. All ways are failing. His fever is very high fever. So Krishna says, Mother, you're worried about my fever. You get me dust of the feet of one of my devotee. Tapliansa knows this story. Who is ready to do anything for me? So she went and asked all the devotees, all the gopis. They say, can we give our dust to Krishna's head? Paap chadega. Nobody. When Radha heard it, Radha came and Radha sat down next to Krishna, took her own feet dust and put it in Krishna's head. Krishna smiled and said, now you know. And this is why you keep saying Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Actually, they're not two, they're one. You say Shiva and Kali. Have you realized ever, have you thought, Shiva is called what? As per Kashmiri Shaivism, Shiva is the Purusha. Shiva is the consciousness. As per Kashmiri Shaivism, it is Sankhya philosophy, not Advaita, okay? Shiva is the consciousness. Who is Mother Kali? Mother Kali is the Prakriti, Purusha and Prakriti. Consciousness and Maya. She is the Maya. But look at it. Look carefully. Somebody asked me on, I think it was when? 15th of March, which was the Women's Day. 15th of March, no? So in our school, our teachers around said, we would like you to say something on that day. I said, for what do you want me to say? So Women's Day, women's empowerment, they're being hassled a lot. I said, you really want me to speak? They said, yes, we are about 500-600 of our own teacher professors. I said, honestly, if you look at ourselves, we are fools. He said, how? I said, tell me, can you sweeten sugar? He said, no. I said, you're monkeys, how can you empower women? He said, then look at this. Trouble went 16th century onwards, women all over the world suffered a lot. I said, you know why they suffered? Because they forgot who they are. Just like you and I suffering today. Why? We've forgotten who we are. What does that mean? I said, look at two examples. Look at Mother Kali. She's supposed to be the Maya. She's supposed to be Prakriti. But notice she is dancing on top of Shiva. And Shiva is helplessly lying. Have you all ever seen it carefully? The famous temple Dakshineshwar where Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and that murti is all over. You look at how Shiva is looking. Nobody sees that, because he's almost hiding. He's almost not seen. You see Mother Kali. Look carefully where Shiva is looking. Shiva is looking straight at Mother Kali. She is called the Mahamaya. If you notice in a marriage house, let's say daughter's marriage, son's marriage, father is sitting at one side, maybe having a drink, maybe smoking, maybe chatting with somebody, and mother who is looking after the whole function. Vijay has experienced this. Mother will come running and sometimes say something to Vijay. Vijay will listen and Vijay will say this much. And mother goes off now. Vijay continues to enjoy his little drink or talking to people or smoking. Mother is running around and doing the work. This is exactly the example of Shiva and Kali. She is doing everything. He is helpless. Now, second example. Himalaya, huge. It all came to me at that moment, and I was quite proud the way it came to me. I said, just look at Himalaya. So mighty, so strong. Tallest mountain in the world. I don't know if you know, Mother Ganga, Himalaya as per mythology was not allowing her to go. So, Bharat, based on which this country is named Bharat, he did yagna, he did tapasya, because his entire clan got destroyed. So he came to understand that if I can get Ganga Mata from the heaven down to this earth and is to emerge from the Himalaya, then the Mother Ganga will purify, everybody will become alive. So he did a lot of tapasya. Mother Ganga was to come. Mythologically, Shiva said, okay, let her come on my head. Himalaya, this is another story, similar. Himalaya said, no, you stay here at the glacier. In the practical, what has happened? Mother Ganga, that Himalaya, she bored a hole through Himalaya, Gangotri, Gomukhi, a little hole, where you see how Ganga is coming out, and now you go to Lakshman Jhula and see Ganga. You can hardly see that end. And there, it's such a small water trickling out. And the beautiful reminds me of a very nice, very senior monk sitting with a young monk just below Gangotri, Gomukhi, that area. And there are quite a few apple trees. So they generally go down and break an apple and sit down and eat. So they were eating an apple, 4 o'clock in the evening. Exact timing is also. This monk who's done it, he's right. He's talking about it. Eating an apple. And the senior monk says, in Hindi they were talking about, I'll tell you in English. He said, can you see this river? It was the winter season. Eating apple, winter time. Water is crystal clear. He says, a bhakt, a yogi ka man aisa hi hona chahiye. The younger monk said, meaning, he said, see, it's crystal clear. If I throw a coin, you can see the coin there. Water is cool. And that Ganga Pani, if you collect it and bring it with you, we have it. I think mine is nearly 20 years. Nothing has happened to that water. We keep drinking it. Whenever it passed, something is, I put it into small. I had distributed to many. Put it into a little, the bigger bottle of homeopathy, that 5 ml or 50 ml or something like that. I think 50 ml. Gave it to everybody. Notice, if you put one drop in your 20-liter jerry can, you got 20-liter Ganga Pani. And nothing happens to that water. 20-liter, nothing happened. Think. So what is the senior monk is saying? This water is so pure. But come in the rainy season, June, July, this river will be filled with torrents, mud, trees, branches, stones, everything is flowing down. Now, it's a dangerous river. You cannot cross it. It will be sweeping you away. Very dangerous. You cannot drink that water. And the water is so muddy, you cannot see anything there. He says, Vishay ka man, business people, grihi, unka man aisa hota hai. Their mind is filled with all that. You notice the baby's mind and yours and my mind. So baby has no doubt that I don't have to carry $10. My food will be there. The monks in Himalaya, they have a nice saying. They have to do only one time to go out for Viksham Dehi. They cannot store it. And they cannot beg more than 5 houses. If they don't get it, that means that day they are not supposed to eat. So they have a very nice saying. They say, Kabhi ghee ghana, meaning sometimes they get food which is rich with ghee and wealth. Kabhi muthi bar chana, only one fistful of chana. And they go and say, Kabhi wo bhi mana. Even that is not there. Imagine the life they lead. What kind of a tough life. And look at the power they attain. And what is that power? It's inside you and me also. Only thing we have to tap into it. And now what we'll do, Advaita begins here. Sankhya finishes here. Prakriti, Purusha, you and me. So what is Advaita saying? See, in very brief, I'll not get into detail because it might become a little boring, but you should know it. Definition of consciousness in the world today is Sir's favorite topic. They say this world is created with matter, and the matter became alive. Evolution, Big Bang Theory, and slowly from the earth and the water and the life formed and cells emerged and all that. And that created brain, and brain created consciousness. It's a epiphenomenal they're talking about. Brain created consciousness. The other, just the opposite. They say, no. Consciousness created brain and the matter. Which is that? You say, that sounds like Advaita. No, it is not Advaita. It is theistic religion. We say, no, God created. Who is God? God is consciousness. Krishna is consciousness. You hear this, no? Krishna consciousness. This is that word. God created this universe. God is who? Consciousness. Created the universe. This is the matter. There is another theory. The third theory goes on and says, which is Kashmiri Shaivism, which is Sankhya, which has neither created any. Both are at parallel, Prakriti and Purusha, both together. You should just know it, okay? There's a fourth theory. And the fourth one is Advaita. What is Advaita saying? Advaita is saying, The water appears as wave. The gold appears as ornament. Many types of ornaments. They're all different ornaments. Maybe paige, maybe bracelet, maybe tiara, maybe ring, maybe chain. Different ornament, but gold is one. So what is Advaita saying? It appears. So what appears? Consciousness appears as many. You heard, no? Eko ham bahushama, Bhagavad Gita. I was one. I chose to become many. I wanted to become many. So that one became many is appearance. Closest example is Mandakya Upanishad. Jagrat, we are all separate. When you go into dream state, sleep and dream, you're dreaming now. Your body and mind is on the bed. But notice, you're suddenly maybe dancing in Florida. Unbelievable. Your consciousness has created that scene with the mind, and consciousness is memorizing it. When you wake up, you remember, I was dancing at Florida, or I was chased by T-Rex. Dinosaur was chasing me. And you get up and say, oh, it was only a dream. What is Advaita saying? Advaita is saying, no, that this world is apparent world. It's not real. What is real? You. That consciousness with which you can change this world. Create your world. Have you realized, let's say Narendra Modi, he was what? He used to sell tea. Look at Dhirubhai Ambani. He used to sell newspaper. Look at Steve Jobs. How did they? What sir is written? I think we should send it for a. Have you put it into? Should put it. It's really well written. Ichiko is doing a world over today. You know, surprise. His book is about 18 pounds or something, or 19.5 pounds, something like that. And if you want to go to Amazon.com. Try to buy 2 books. You'll not allow you. You can only buy one. One person can buy only one. One account can buy only one. Can you imagine? His book is in so much of demand. You know, demand and supply. You cannot buy more than one. And I don't find that book is very beautifully written, very well composed, but I find his book is very good. You should see that. That's why I asked him, and sir has gone ahead and given 10 books to the school library. So everybody will get those books now. We're just waiting for all of you should read it. You would not be ready to read it from beginning to end, but you can read excerpts of some of it. Am I correct? You should read it, the ones which appeals to you, and read that part. Know something from it. So, understanding now, Advaita begins here. Now from here, getting onto that Advaita, mindfulness meditation, it's a very famous term today, billion-dollar industry all over the world, particularly in America and Europe. And this mindfulness meditation, the topic came about roots of this meditation, which you all must understand, whatever be our job. Whether we are business people, where I'm a student, where I'm a teacher, where I'm a parent, where I'm a professional, where I want to change my life, I'm beginning in the journey, where I'm in the trouble, you must learn. What is this meditation? The purpose of the meditation is realization. Realization of what? Most people will say realizing God. We are saying in Advaita, in mindfulness, realize who we are. And the moment you discover that, so this is getting connected to Advaita, in Kriya Yoga, as well as the Patanjali. The moment you begin to understand, you will see something will happen. By the way, about 2,500 years ago, Buddha started this. The Advaita Vedanta, Vedantic meditation is more than 6,000 years. The mindfulness meditation has a strong influence of Buddha. And you have done Vipassana meditation, right? Vipassana is also taken from Buddha. So it's there is a lot of simile in all of them have taken. I think Mr. Goel or somebody who did that. What's his name? Goel, correct? Yeah. Goel. Right. So this is basically, people think meditation is to get into samadhi and realize God. What we want you to understand is to realize and crystallize whatever you want in your life, including God realization, including realizing who am I, including having the power to change the world around us the way you want it. Which way do you want it? Create it that way. We say, many, I hear them saying, no, I don't want to ask for anything. God knows what I want, no? We say, sure, God knows what you want. But tell me, doesn't the mother know baby needs milk? But will the mother give baby milk unless the baby cries? The baby has to ask for it. So what is this asking? It doesn't mean cry. It doesn't mean nag your mother. It means, I'm very clear. What do I want? Baby is clear. Reeve was very clear. I don't want food anymore. You may keep trying to do it. Have you seen? Babies will keep on doing this. Poor baby. And you hold her and push it on the foot like that. No? Usha ma'am? You're remembering your name. Okay. So, in this, a very nice Mahesh Yogi, he went down to US. You remember Beetle? You remember who the other one with the Beetle? The other one, there's another one. It will come to me. They all wanted to get out of stress, get out of torment. They had no shortage of money, but they were all very unhappy and they were, misunderstanding. So Mahesh Yogi told them that if you practice this transcendental meditation, he called it TM, that if you do this, then you will look very brilliant, happy, handsome. You will not age. You will be always filled with happiness and joy. Whatever you want in your life, whatever success is, you will get it. Now, meditation is not for that. These are there. If you're doing practice the meditation, they will all come. But that's not the purpose of the meditation. So when Mahesh Yogi came to India, he's an Advaitavadi, like what we are following, Advaitavadi. So his Advaitavadi co-disciple said, Maheshji, what are you teaching them? This is not what yoga is supposed to be for, meditation is for. So Mahesh Yogi said something very nice and I like it. He said, I give them what they want. I give them what they want now, so that I can give them what I want later. It is, enticing them into it, fall in love with it, and then he will give them the other part of it. So, there is Buddha, Vijnana Bhairava, Tantric meditation, non-dualistic Vedanta, all of them have something in common. All meditations have one thing in common, and that is it is to do with your breath. Everywhere it is breath. Why breath? Have you ever thought about it? Notice even I never think of it like this. This is where Vedanta comes in and gives you such clarity in why breath. He said, there's a beautiful book written by a doctor. The book is called When Breath Becomes Air. Breath becomes air. If I die, my breath will become air now. It will not be my breath anymore, meaning I don't need it anymore. My body is dead. He's writing about death when breath becomes air. Why is it breath? Because the breath is always with you. Wherever you go, whatever you do. And notice another thing. They found out that the breath is a nice link between your mind meaning emotion. Look, if you get angry, if you get very excited, how do you breathe? No. That is why they say you cannot smile and frown together. Have you realized? Try, look into the mirror, smile and frown. You cannot do it together. So you cannot have rapid breath and yet be calm. And you cannot be calm and not have calm breath. So if you can calm down the breath, Sasi Hanumane, Hanumanji, Pavan Putra. Meaning what? Hanumanji could 100 yojana jump. By the way, those of you who don't know this story, when Hanumanji was a baby, he was born Anjana Mata with the mother. It's quite a big story. I'll tell some other time. Anjana Mata knew Hanumanji is very powerful. She never told him. One day he was lying, must be 8-10 months or maybe 2 years old. And he saw sun. It looked to him like an orange. He jumped up to go and eat it up. And he was soaring to go and eat it up. Just see the mythological story. These stories tell us a lot of beautiful things. All the gods and goddesses got scared. They all went running to Indra. Indra tried to send somebody, tell Pavan Devta, come on, go and tell your son not to go up. Pavan Devta said, I am not going to tell him. I cannot control him. So Indra Devta said, okay. So he threw that thunder and Vajrastra. And Hanumanji fell unconscious on the ground. Pavan Devta said, how dare you hurt my son? I will stop supplying air to the whole universe. Universe is dying now, no air. They went and Pavan Devta said, okay. We will make him come up. But one condition. He will forget that he has the power. He will only come to know when somebody goes and tells him, reminds him. So Hanumanji forgot. After this, he grew up without knowing how powerful he is. When Hanumanji was sitting, Lanka, Rama and everybody, they said somebody should go across till the bridge is prepared. It will take a lot of time and see how Sita. Jatayu and all had already told that Sita is there. Remember your story? You guys have read Ramayana a little bit? Yeah, little bit. Read little bit. It's great fun. Hanumanji was sitting quietly. There, Nal and Nil said, we can jump 40 yojana. Jambuban said, I can jump 50 yojana. No, sorry. Angad said, I can jump 50 yojana. Jambuban said, I can jump 80 yojana. Jambuban is Brahma's son. But you have to cross 100 yojana. He said, he's not happy. Then Jambuban takes permission from Rama and goes and tells Hanuman, you don't know who you are. You can do it. He said, I don't know anything, I can't. And then when Jambuban told him, he remembered. And what did he do? All he did, Jai Sri Ram, and he jumped and he crossed. This is that Pavan Devta is a Sasi Hanuman. That powerful is the breath which is always with us. We misuse it. We are hardly aware. Just like if you look carefully, you are not aware of the power of our consciousness. We are unconscious of our consciousness. We are unconscious of the power of the wind, that air, which is there with us. As you notice, if you're calm and peaceful, you hardly realize you're breathing. Supposing you're holding a baby in your hand, you forget you're breathing. You see a beautiful mountain, snow peak, huge ocean, you forget you're breathing. So, overcoming suffering, deep lasting solution is through the meditation. You get connected to who we are. And you will be surprised. We are very restless. We cannot sit still. But as you get on to through the Vedantic method, something will happen to you. And you suddenly forget that you have a body, you're sitting down, you're doing meditation. So now, the mindfulness meditation from 2500 years ago, about 800 years after, there's somebody who is a Buddhist. His name is Asanga. Do you hear this, me saying Asanga? Asanga actually means detached. Asanga, aham, Asanga. So this Asanga, he developed that Buddhist and meditation, non-mindfulness meditation. But it didn't do so much of great work. But after that, this you should just know, as good knowledge, came around 1100 AD. That is, his name is Kamala Shila. Kamalful and Shila, stone. Kamala Shila. He developed a great book. And this book, he goes ahead and calls it Bhavanakaram. Bhavanakaram. That's the name of the book. And this book is written a little dry. You and I won't like to read it. There is a great neurospecialist. His name is Dr. John Yates. I'm going to get that book. The more I'm reading it, I'm coming to know about it, I must get them. Then we can have a look, read a little bit, understand something. John Yates has written a book on that Bhavanakaram, translated it, and Asanga's principle and Buddhist principle, and combined it all with Vedanta principles and called it The Mind Illuminated. Those of you interested, you can Google it. This is a very nice book, very thorough, and it is given 10 stages of meditation, of mindfulness meditation. We're going to do 1 and 2, along with the Vedanta meditation. This is mindfulness. Though they have same principles, but Vedanta meditation is separate. You will see what the difference once we do it. And you should do both. I practice both and I enjoy it thoroughly. And I can see how restless I used to be earlier, and now how much difference it is making to. So if it is making to me, it always reminds me of, there used to be one Chinese cook. His name was Yang, and he used to do a TV show. Those days, black and white, long time back. And I remember his TV show, he used to teach Chinese cooking. And the title of the Chinese cooking used to be called, very funny name, If Yang Can Cook, You Can Too. He said, I didn't know how to cook. I loved eating my mother's food. So I used to stand and watch my mother. And then mother said, why don't you cook for me? And I started. And he became a world famous chef. Yang. He used to teach very simple. I've forgotten all those lessons, but it was very fun. So if Yang can cook, you can too. If monkeys like Robin Bush can meditate, you can also meditate. Anybody can meditate. It is not true that you can't or you can or something like that, etc. So get out of all those. Why breath? First, 2 reasons. First, breath is always there with you. You don't have to beg, borrow, pay money. And second, you're detached. You're passive. You're not active. You're not saying, like Ramdevji shows in the TV. That's an active meditation, active breathing. You don't have to do that. You can be just gentle. And as you go from mindfulness meditation is just, by the way, why I'm showing this slide, Vijay, you can spread the word around, because you can go into, they, sir, all helping me, it goes on to air, it goes on to, you can go into these slides and refer to them as we have to do a lot of work. It's close to sometimes 10 days, 15 days, not just 6, 7 days. A lot of data, we get it from everywhere because it is going in the air and we cannot say something which is not correct. Right? Right. So when you're sitting silent and quiet, you're silent, you're quiet. Notice, you will see, you will realize and become aware of your breath. Now you're not aware. Even when you get angry, you breathe so violently, or you run 100 meters dash. You're doing like that, you're breathing, but you're worried about the cramp in the stomach, but not the breath. But when you're sitting still and silent, then you do, not the backache. You gone, no? Are you trying that?
Yeah, every day.
Those 5-6 exercises, it's very good, extremely powerful. I've seen so many got cured with that. Very nice. Okay. So you will become aware of the breath, and you will become aware of the rhythm of the breath. So this is a little theoretical knowledge. You have to go on to it. And it gives you third message. First is what? Breath is always there. Second is you become aware of the breath. And third, you'll become aware. Most of us may not think of it, but if you think deeply, you'll become aware the impermanence of the breath. The breath is not always there with me. When I die, breath will become air. You understand that? Now, these are all some great thinking makes us realize that this impermanence of life must be utilized for what? First, we generally learn skill in the school, colleges, learn knowledge, skill, abilities, whether sports or playing or something like that. And then we go ahead and learn how to earn money and how to create things, how to fulfill our desires. So there is this guy. He said, no, I don't do work for all that. I work just because I like to work. So think. So I say, okay, you work only for work. No? So listen, that thick bundle of payment that is against your work, I'm not going to give you that pay anymore. You work because you love working. Say, no. I need that pay. Yes, I work. I love my work, young guy. But I need the pay also. I said, okay, I give you a choice. Either you take the pay or you do work. If you do work, you will get no pay. If you do pay, no need to work. Which one would you choose? Which one will you choose? Everybody will choose pay. I say, okay, done. Vijay sir, pay is yours. But you cannot spend it for anything you want. I will tell you where to spend it. Vijay, what do you mean? It's my money. I'll spend where I want to, isn't it? I say, all right. Okay, you spend where you want to. But one condition, you cannot buy anything for either for yourself or for your family members. You can buy anything for anybody. You still got liberty, but for other people. And we will tell you, buy for that people, that people, that people. Or you can also do it for other people who you don't know anything. You will say what? No. Vijay sir is going to say, I want to buy my people, my grandson, my daughter, my son-in-law, my wife, my requirements. Isn't it? So notice now what? Coming back to Vidyarany's 700 years ago theory. What is it? I want to do for myself. So see, whatever you love, you like to hold on to it. You don't like to part with it. Whatever you don't like, you like to part with it. You don't want them to be around. You don't want to see them. Have you ever realized you never tried to part with yourself? You never part with your own self. Somebody will say, no. What about committing suicide? Hey, listen, committing suicide is correct. But only, let's say I will want to commit suicide. Why? Because I cannot do the payment. Big dues in the market. I can't meet up with it. Everybody's harassing. I want to kill myself. Or I got terrible sickness. I cannot cure myself. I want to commit suicide. Or I love that girl or I love that boy and that girl loves somebody else. I want to kill myself. Supposing now somebody like Robin Ghosh or Usha comes in and said, listen, what is your problem? Your problem is you can't pay the money, is it? Okay, I'll pay for you. When you earn, you give it back to me. Don't worry, no debts. I'll pay for it. And then Usha said, but wait, you said you're going to commit suicide, no? Then what will I say? Will I say now I'll commit suicide? No, I'm committing suicide. Why? Not because of I don't love myself. I'm committing suicide because of an external thing which is painful to me. You with me? If I remove the pain, if somebody is there to remove the pain, Vijay sir is saying, "Arey bhai, dukh kya hai batao? I'll remove it for you." Will you commit suicide? No. So it is not so. That means understanding I love myself. And means what? The happiness source is within me. It's not out there. The happiness is within. It's not out there. And you get connected through the meditation to that part of it. This learning to go ahead and for the breath itself. So, in which you become aware of the body. Another 2-3 minutes, we'll start exercise, okay? And you learn in the body, become aware of the body in this meditation. Let's say I'm aware, I'm sitting. I'm aware of my toe, my feet, my bottom touching the floor or the asana in which I'm sitting. By the way, should not sit. The other day I saw somebody sitting on a plain floor. You should not do that. Whatever energy you generate, you will energy. Tremendous energy will be generated. It will get earthed. So you should have, ideally speaking, a woolen blanket or a skin of an animal. But that animal skin is not killed animal. It should natural death. You get a lot of natural death animal. Okay. I didn't have one for a long time. Almost 12-15 years. And we talked about it like this. So, after some time, you remember Gupta used to come? He came back from South Africa. He had gone to South Africa. He came back and he said, sir, I brought this for you. And the skin which I'm sitting on, he brought it. I said, but I can't take it. It must have been killed. He said, no, sir. Government wants a certificate given. Natural death. There are lots of deers there, no? South Africa. So that kind of a skin. On top of that, you can have a silk or a wool. On top of that, a kusha grass. All these things are complicated. Don't go for complication. If you have nothing, at least put a bed sheet or put a blanket. It's good enough. Sit. Sit facing northeast, north or east. Ideal. If you have a Ganpati Muni, Ganpati Baba at home, make sure Ganpati Baba is facing east or west, ideally. Okay, this is what they say. It can be like, see, you all are facing northeast now. The Babaji and all facing south. These are all certain Vastu Gyan is there. You should not put on a south wall some holy pictures like that. You put generally dead people's picture there who are no more there with you. These are kind of things. These are to align yourself with the universe, with the Earth's magnetic field, north, south pole, like that. We'll go on to more of these details, but basically understanding is this, that you become aware of your body. First your breath. Why breath? We've talked about it, aware of your body. And after that body, you will become the fourth stage. These are 4 stages of the 10 of that beautiful principle, mindfulness. It's really $1 billion industry today in the world. And you're there using it for everything, from corporate to becoming beautiful, to sports, to attaining academic results. In Harvard, they don't started. Oprah Winfrey, Friday session. Oprah Winfrey, how can you start meditation without? Shall we chant with me silently or loudly as you wish? Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May each one of you be protected with the Supreme Kalpa Yogi Mahavadar Babaji's blessings. Hold your hand and guide you, protect you from adversities, remove all your obstacles, and take you from this state of multiple division, devised self to oneness. No separatedness to oneness of realization. To Krishna, Yogakshema Vaham Vaham, Divine Mother, Jagat Janani, Brahma Rupi Mother, Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara, blessings of Paramahansa Yogananda, protect us, guide us, hold our hand. Sri Yukteswar Giri Lahiri Mahasaya, bless us so that we may attain that oneness with you as the supreme Turiya conscious state, that you gurus are there, always guiding us silently, ever present. Swami Sri Vivekananda, Holy Mother Sharada, Paramahansa Ramakrishna. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sure.